You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
I'm Jordan Klinger, an attorney at McIntyre Law. The decision to hire an attorney after you've been injured is important. The decision on who to hire is even more important. At McIntyre Law, we will settle a case if the offer to our client is fair. Partial justice is no justice at all. At McIntyre Law, we are committed to obtaining full justice for our clients. Contact McIntyre Law at 405-917-5200 or visit us at mcintyrelaw.com.
I am Conor McGregor, multiple weight MMA champion. I'm a fighter and I've been through many battles in the octagon. Many consider my fights in the octagon heroic, but the real life heroes are those men and women who fight to protect us every day. The real life fighters, the real life heroes, are the firefighters and police officers. These first responders are true heroes, because these brave men and women put themselves in the line of danger every single day protecting us all. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation ensures that first responders from fire, EMS and police departments who are killed in the line of duty with young children have a home without the burden of a mortgage. They are my heroes. They need our help today. I'd like to ask you to join me in donating $11 a month to support their efforts. Your $11 a month honours and supports our first responders. Please call now at 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of wave light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
everybody, and welcome. I hope you're from Rick and Stacy. If not, shame on you, but I'm still glad you're here. You should definitely be tuned in before me, and you should definitely stay tuned after me on KLRN Radio Wednesday nights, because there's always something good going on here. It's been a little bit. Sorry about that. Life is tough sometimes, and right now I'm eating the plaster end of it. So anyway, wow. I guess there's a red wine tonight I haven't seen.
As far as I know,
Okay. Yeah, so, and I don't know if there's a Rick and Ordy, or there's going to be a Rick, Ordy, and Stacy, I'm being told. Okay, that's great. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. Yeah, Stacy's going to get an Ordy's grill. We'll see what happens. Should be good fun. Anyway, all right. Well, we got a lot to cover. I mean, I got more notes than usual, or well, more notes than I should, as usual. Yeah, I mean, um, and normally I would start with the big story, but I was so incensed about this yesterday that there's no way I can't start with this. And it incensed me from the standpoint of how stupid can people be? All right, and so we'll file that under the dummy files. And yeah, I mean, you probably saw, because I'm not tweeting a whole lot lately, but I definitely made a point to tweet about Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and the information that she was spewing to a group of high school students in Houston for the eclipse. She was there on Monday to view it with them, and she told them that the moon is a planet that is made up mostly of gases. Now, this is a woman who once led the space subcommittee of the House Science Committee. And you know, the media was kind and said that she misspoke, and some of them said that she made false statements, but none of them had the absolute stones that it takes to call her out for what she is, and that's a blithering idiot. Jackson told the students, "You've heard the words," oh no, she said word, singular. "You've heard the word full moon." Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know it's two words. Sometimes you need to take the opportunity to just come out and see a full moon. Is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. And that's why the question is, why or how could we as humans live on the moon? Are the gases such that we could do that? She continued. And then she said, the sun is a mighty powerful heat, but it's almost impossible to go near the sun. The moon is more manageable. I have a suggestion for Sheila Jackson Lee. First of all, read about the moon. The moon is not a planet. The moon is not made up of gases. But, you know, I have to give her points for going the extra mile. The sun she should try going at night. That way it'd be, a little cooler for her. I think she'd get a lot closer at night. Yeah. That would work for her, I'm sure. But she went on making several statements that were questionable at best, downright disserviceable and lies at worst. In another statement, she told the students that the moon not only reflects the sun's light, but also emits unique light and energy by itself. You have the energy of the moon at night, she said. In another statement, she misstated how solar eclipses happen. I mean, it's a laugh track. She's hysterically stupid. She goes, this is a quote from her now. The whole thing I'm about to read is a quote. What you will see today will be the closest distance that the moon has ever been in the last 20 years, which means that's why they will shut the light down. They? Because they will be close to the earth, which is an amazing experience. You will be able to tell because there will be complete darkness. Woo. She also told the students not to look at the sun directly, warning them that the eclipse is a serious matter and that looking into the sun directly could mean students not being able to leave on their own, but instead being walked out while holding on to somebody's arm. And also in the video clip addressing the students, she is seen struggling to put her eclipse glasses on. Oh, poor Sheila Jackson Lee. But and this is not the first time that she's made questionable statements, regarding science, let alone turn the misstep into a political issue. In 1997, Jackson Lee visited NASA and demanded to see the flag that the astronauts had planted on Mars. She was gently advised that no human being had ever been to Mars because it was so far away. She then went into a rage and accused the space agency of racism before pointing out her membership on the House Science Committee. She also claimed during a floor speech in March of 2014 that the United States Constitution was 400 years old. You take all that into consideration. She's also been storied to be one of the, we'll call it, quote unquote, meanest members of Congress to work for. Just rude and inconsiderate to staffers. A former staffer that took part in a big expose on who the worst Congress people to work for was, said that she addressed him as "you stupid motherfucker" for 2 years like it was my name. Can you imagine working in that kind of condition? She would be trying to hold a congressional hearing for somebody doing that to somebody else, but it's okay for her to do it. Anyway, that's Sheila Jackson Lee for you, and she ain't gonna change. The sad part is that as dumb as she is, there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people that have been continuously sending her back to D.C. to serve more. How dumb must they be? Anyway, all right, moving on. I know that's kind of one of the funner kind of stories to do. Funner, more fun. I don't know. You figure it out. Anyway, now on to the news. Okay, so Joe Biden has been touring the country a lot lately, and boy, he's a walking, talking gaffe machine. He can't get anything right anymore. But nobody has called him on this yet. Inflation reports, the CPI report came out. Inflation ran hot for a third straight month in March and is now pushing the Federal Reserve to keep interest rates higher. Overall prices increased 3.5% from a year ago and up from 3.2% in February, driven largely, they say, by the rising cost of rent and gasoline. I don't think that's what's actually causing it. But on a monthly basis, costs rose 0.4%, similar to the previous month and similar to the previous month. So what is core inflation right now? Core prices, which exclude volatile food and energy items. I don't know how that happens, but, I don't get to make the rules. So they exclude volatile food and energy items and are watched more closely by the Fed. They increased 0.4% in line with February's and January's rise, and that kept the annual increase at 3.8%. So is inflation really going down? Well, we did hit a 40-year high a couple of years ago at 9.1%, and we have slowed from that. But after some improvement, price increases have accelerated on a monthly basis to a range of 0.3 to 0.4%. Products such as cars, furniture, and appliances have gotten less expensive, so they're saying. Now, you can't prove this by people that are going out and shopping for these things, but the government says they've gotten less expensive. Because pandemic-induced supply bottlenecks have finally unwound. Though goods prices jumped in February, the cost of services such as rent, car insurance, transportation keep rising. And they're still trying to blame the pandemic. They're saying this is because pandemic-related pay increases have slowed as worker shortages have eased. So employers are realizing they don't have to pay people as much. People are realizing that they do have to work. Things do happen. Barclays expects the monthly price gains to slowly moderate, bringing down yearly inflation to 3% by the end of the year. That's not much of a slowdown, because the Feds are looking for 2% to start cutting interest rates. Now, in recent weeks, Fed Chair Jerome Powell has said that the uptick in prices in the first 2 months of the year could have been a blip, and inflation is still heading toward the 2% target on a, quote, sometimes bumpy path. But the larger than expected rise in March is definitely going to set off more worries that market-friendly interest rates cuts will be pushed back, especially with the economy and labor market like they are. The futures market is now betting that the Fed's first rate cut will be pushed back at least to September, with the Fed lowering rates just twice this year. It had been predicting the first cut in June and a total of 3 decreases in 2024, in line with the median estimate last month. In a note to clients on Wednesday, economist Paul Ashworth of Capital Economics wrote the third consecutive 0.4% rise in core CPI kills off hopes of a June rate cut. So, I mean, we really need to. Whoa. More country than a dirt back road with a line of tractors. You think my accent is fucking country? Wow. That's wild. It's in chat. It's in chat. I think it was Zelda. Jesus. I gotta call my mom, huh?
After hearing Zelda's voice, if she's talking trash about your accent, she's throwing stone from glass houses, bro. Just saying. Right.
Yeah.
Going back on Whisper now.
New Yorker. I get an infusion of that, and I'll be used guys and all over the place here. Yeah, well, you know. Rick's in whisper mode, so I'm talking to Rick while you people can't hear him. So because I'm special and you're like read to me real slow special.
Hey Z, there's only one asshole around here.
China is asshole.
That's them.
Oh, and Kathy Bostanek, Nationwide's chief economist, said that the report will undermine Fed officials' confidence that inflation is on a sustainable course back to 2% and likely delay rate cuts to at least September at the earliest, and could push off rate reductions to next year. Since March 2022, the Fed has hiked its benchmark short-term rate from near zero to a 22-year high of 5.25% to tame inflation. Though officials have paused since July, higher rate increases increase consumer and business borrowing costs and tend to curtail economic activity. So what's the stock market doing about this? Stock prices weakened in a response to the higher inflation rate. As of 10:45 today, the S&P 500 fell 0.75%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.84% as investors grew concerned that expected interest rates cut may come later than hoped. Prices for 10-year T-bills, which are sensitive to inflation, fell and pushed their yields to 3.1%. Man, I can remember when Treasury bonds were just like buying gold. 3.1% is fucking ridiculous. I have a money market account that does better than 3.1%. For fuck's sakes. This is Bidenomics, folks. This is what Joe Biden is touring the country bragging about. Inflation is shaping up as a key issue in the presidential election. Biden said in a statement that the latest numbers show that while inflation has fallen more than 60% from its peak, more still must be done to lower costs. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. How about something from the Captain Obvious files there? He said prices are still too high for housing and groceries, even as prices for key household items like milk and eggs are lower than a year ago. They are not. They are not. Egg prices have not come down. They're blaming the rise in gas prices on Russia and the war in Ukraine. This is our government now. They really expect that you're stupid enough to believe this. Gas prices are going up because demand is picking up as the spring driving season gears up. Yes, we know there's lots of tourists driving between Russia and Ukraine so they can see the war scenically and cynically. What about rent? The cost of housing and gas accounted for more than half of the monthly increase, they say. Rent increased 0.4% in March, easing slightly from the prior month, but the latest in a flurry of hefty gains that nudged down the annual rise to a still elevated 5.7%. Economists expect rent increases to moderate based on new leases. What new leases? Oh, I'm hearing about this housing shortage. There's this tremendous housing shortage. There's not a tremendous housing shortage. I'll tell you what's going on. You got people that don't know how to live within their means, that are buying houses they can't afford. I look at it around here, and Zelda knows I'm in the county over from her in South Alabama. But I'm looking at houses being built here that are going up for sale that start in the $350 to $375 range and go upwards to over $1 million easily. And I see people that have, let's say they're dual income. I know people. Okay, I know people. They're a dual income family, 2 kids in school. They both work. One makes about $65,000 a year, and the other makes about $75,000 a year. It's $140,000. And they mortgaged $400,000 on their house. $400,000. Which they say 3.5 times now. A lot of places are even going as high as 4 times your annual income for mortgage allowances. I mean, they're paying, God knows, it's got to be $1,700 a month. I just don't know how you sustain that with 2 teenage boys. Yeah, she drives a new car. He drives a new car. So they have 2 car notes. You know, let's just say they're moderate average cars, $500 a month each. That's another $1,000. You're up to $2,700, and you haven't accounted for groceries. You haven't accounted for gas. You haven't accounted for any kind of insurance, electricity, cable, phones. I don't get it. I don't see how they do it. But anyway, I digress. They say that the cost of some other services also keep drifting higher. Medical care increased over 0.5%. Car repairs up almost 2%. Auto insurance just over 2.5%. But airfares slipped 0.4% on falling jet fuel prices. There's also falling jets. I mean, Boeings are just falling apart, peeling out of the sky. I don't know if anybody saw the story the other day about the singer Jelly Roll. His Boeing jet had to make an emergency landing. They had one Southwest plane where the engine casing peeled off the Boeing plane in flight. Luckily, the engine was intact, but the cover peeled off of it and took part of the wing. The encouraging news that they want to point out, though, is that used car prices, they say, are down 1%. New cars, now get this, new cars went down 0.2%. Get excited, people. Get excited. 0.2%. They say that appliances are dipping almost 1%. I have not seen that anywhere. Prices are still outrageous. Furniture supposedly increased moderately 0.3%, and apparel prices rose almost 0.75%. Food prices. They say grocery prices were unchanged for a second month, nudging up the annual increase to a still modest 1.2%. That's year over year. Breakfast cereals fell, bread fell, and cookies fell. But proteins all climbed. Uncooked ground beef up, bacon up, eggs way up, and another bird flu outbreak now. It's almost too much with the eggs. A damn jar of mayonnaise is $7 now because of the cost of eggs. I don't know. What the hell? Anyway. That's where we're at with inflation. That's Bidenomics, folks. He thinks it's building back better. But I don't know. What I do know is we got to take a break. We're past the bottom of the hour, so Rick's going to push a button. We're going to stretch our legs for about 4 minutes, and we're going to put our asses back in the seat and drive this thing home. So let's do it, Rick.
Jumping through some hoops, wanna get my body loose, wanna tell you what to do. I've been running out of bounds like an animal struggling, looking for a diamond. I'm trying, I'm fighting, riding in the rhythm now. I just wanna stay up,
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
I'm Jordan Klinger, an attorney at McIntyre Law. The decision to hire an attorney after you've been injured is important. The decision on who to hire is even more important. At McIntyre Law, we will settle a case if the offer to our client is fair. Partial justice is no justice at all. At McIntyre Law, we are committed to obtaining full justice for our clients. Contact McIntyre Law at 405-917-5200 or visit us at mcintyrelaw.com.
I am Conor McGregor, multiple weight MMA champion. I'm a fighter and I've been through many battles in the octagon. Many consider my fights in the octagon heroic, but the real life heroes are those men and women who fight to protect us every day. The real life fighters, the real life heroes, are the firefighters and police officers. These first responders are true heroes because these brave men and women put themselves in the line of danger every single day protecting us all. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation ensures that first responders from fire, EMS and police departments who are killed in the line of duty with young children have a home without the burden of a mortgage. They are my heroes. They need our help today. I'd like to ask you to join me in donating $11 a month to support their efforts. Your $11 a month honours and supports our first responders. Please call now at 1-844-BRAVEST or visit tunneltotowers.org.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of wave light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, I drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you. See you, see you.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
All right. Best damn bumper music in the business. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, we're back. About 20 minutes from now, you got the red wine coming at you, and then there will be a Rick, Orty, and Stacy for your nightcap. If you're a nightcap kind of person, you should be. It's going to be fun. Anyway. Back to business. A bill that would reauthorize a crucial national security surveillance program, the government likes to call it FISA, was blocked Wednesday by a conservative revolt in the House, pushing the prospects of final passage into uncertainty amid a looming deadline. The legislative impasse also follows an edict earlier in the day from former President Donald Trump, who was screaming about killing the measure, telling Congress that it needs to be gone. The legislative breakdown comes months after a similar process to reform and reauthorize the surveillance program fell apart before it even reached the House floor. Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican from Louisiana, has called the program critically important, but has struggled to find a path forward on the issue, which has been plagued by partisan bickering for years. The procedural vote to bring up the bill failed 193 to 228, with 19 Republicans voting no. The bill under consideration would renew the surveillance program with a series of reforms meant to satisfy critics who complained of civil liberties violations against Americans. But Republican critics complained that those changes did not go far enough, calling into doubt whether the bill backed by the Biden administration and Johnson would have enough votes to advance. At issue is Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which permits the U.S. government to collect without a warrant the communications of non-Americans located outside the country to gather foreign intelligence. So we basically authorize ourselves to spy on people. And we just don't even call it spying anymore. It's just we have this act that we said is okay. So, F you if you don't like it. But it's set to expire on April 19th if Congress does, or 19th, yes, if Congress does not act. U.S. officials have the tool, have said the tool, first authorized in 2008 and renewed several times since, is crucial in disrupting terror attacks, cyber intrusions, and foreign espionage, and has also produced intelligence that the U.S. has relied on for specific operations. And I can see all of that. I can. But the administration's efforts to secure reauthorization of the program have encountered fierce and bipartisan pushback. Even Democrats, like Senator Ron Wyden, have aligned with Republican supporters of Trump. Trump, he shot his mouth off saying that Section 702 was used against his presidential campaign, which, we got no proof of that, so he's just yammering there. Kill FISA, he wrote in all capital letters. It just, a specific area of concern for lawmakers has been the FBI's use of the intelligence repository to look up information about Americans and others in the U.S. Though the surveillance program only targets non-Americans in other countries, it also collects communications of Americans when they are in contact with those targeted foreigners. I think that should fall under a separate warrant, but, that's just me. Limited government. Make them earn it. In the past year, U.S. officials have revealed a series of abuses and mistakes. Mistakes. Yeah, the FBI has made mistakes in using FISA. Abuses is correct. In improperly querying the intelligence repository for information about Americans or others in the U.S., including a member of Congress and participants in the racial justice protests of 2020. Racial justice? Oh, they mean the summer of murder and arson that BLM conducted. I gotcha. Okay. And also the J6 Capitol occurrence. Those violations have led to demands for the FBI to have a warrant before conducting database queries on Americans. What did I just say? Which FBI Director Chris Wray has warned would effectively gut the effectiveness of the program. No, it would not. Chris Wray he's a pussy. And he doesn't deserve the job he has, and he's not qualified for the job he has. Wray said in a speech, while it is imperative that we ensure this critical authority of 702 does not lapse, we also must not undercut the effectiveness of this essential tool with a warrant requirement or some similar restriction paralyzing our ability to tackle fast-moving threats. If they're fast-moving threats, there's going to be some kind of probable cause where you don't have to trigger a warrant per se. Otherwise, you should have a warrant to move in any way against an American citizen. Johnson made a fresh push for passage, saying it's critical we address these abuses because we don't want to be able to lose Section 702 of FISA. It's critically important, and our intelligence and law enforcement community need this. The program would technically expire on April 19th. The Biden administration said it expects its authority to collect intelligence to remain operational for another year, thanks to an earlier opinion from the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, which oversees surveillance applications. Well, if you didn't apply, why would you expect that? And why would you have an expectation of a blanket continuance of a program that has sunsetted? Yeah, just today I saw where this guy was touting his when he taught constitutional law. How the fuck can somebody teach constitutional law and seemingly know absolutely nothing about the Constitution?
Wait, just to make sure, are you talking about Biden claiming that he was a constitutional?
Yes.
So actually, I've been fact-checking this because I was working on an article about this. So he actually, according to Roll Call, was paid $20,500 stipend by Widener University while he taught there. Roll Call wrote in 2008 that Biden team taught a seminar called Select Topics of Constitutional Law with Professor Robert Heyman. The class meets in a seminar style on Saturday mornings, and according to Heyman, at the time, Biden guaranteed that he would be present for at least half of the class time. He didn't actually teach the class on his own until 2003, according to Roll Call, but again, it was a Saturday class, and it was basically a seminar.
Yeah,
So, just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
So all three of them. Yeah. All right. Well, one of the worst kept secrets in Washington is just how much money the U.S. has spent in Ukraine. However, if you hate that number that keeps getting bandied about, you're really going to hate to find out that it's actually about $15 billion more than what the administration is willing to admit to, according to OMB, Office of Management and Budget. Just thought you'd like to know that as an aside. There's a whole big story that goes with it that we're not going to waste a lot of time on, even though we have a few minutes. But I want to skip down. I'll probably finish a couple minutes early because of this, Rick, but you'll just have to deal with it. So we've got to get some intro music. Where I have homework to do. I think I'll try to do that this weekend. I will try. I'm not going to promise, but I will try. We need to get some kind of something built up for G's guaranteed happy ending. And this is the part of the show we're at right now. The ending. That's how that came to be. We like to try to end it on a positive note. Well, we could work with something. I mean, I'm not filing for copyrights on anything yet. So anyway, we'll have to maybe brainstorm a little bit on that. But for most basketball players growing up, making it to the NBA is the ultimate dream. But Brooklyn Nets star Michael Bridges has another dream. It was his first dream. He wanted to be a teacher. He said, just thinking about helping kids has always been a big, important part of his life. even just as an older kid helping younger kids, but now as an adult. He always wanted second grade once he decided that he wanted to be a teacher. And he said, I just loved second grade when I was young. He said, I feel like that was one of the years that I really remember, just having a great year, great teacher. And I just feel like I always loved the second grade, he said. He grew up in Philadelphia and was inspired by Miss Porter, his second grade teacher, to follow that dream. And he got to do that this month at PS 134 in Brooklyn, where he worked as teacher for a day. Now, the Nets got in the night before around 1:30 in the morning after beating Cleveland on the road. He had a long night, but he was committed to being with the kids. He said their energy was what got me going, and it just carried me through the day. He started the day playing basketball in the gym class. The 6'6" player who was drafted to the NBA in 2018 organized a game of knockout for the kids and answered their questions. One student actually surprised him, he said, with the question of, how do you incorporate your personal life with your professional life? To which he said, I like that question. It's not that bad, actually. I think the biggest thing is time. In season, you don't have that much time because I travel a lot. But I've been in it for about 6 years now, so I found a good balance, hanging out with friends and relaxing and preparing for the games. Her next question, if your family comes to the games, do they get free tickets? Yeah, everybody always wants to know about free tickets. But yeah, why didn't you become a teacher? Another student asked. And of course, because of basketball, because he makes millions of dollars a year instead of putting up with a bunch of peed on shoelaces and snotty noses that need to be wiped and kids that crap their pants and piss on the floor, whatever. All the fun stuff that teachers get to deal with. But yeah, because of basketball. But he said, this is just the first part of my journey. And he said, I think teacher is going to come up again. Maybe try to do both at some point. After gym, he went to first grade music class. They were teaching me on the little xylophone. I didn't know what I was doing. But this guy's great. I mean, he's going back and he's making education important to these kids, and he's showing them that they can do things in their life. And we need we need more professional athletes doing this kind of thing. You don't have to be a role model. Charles Barkley was famous for screaming, I'm not a role model. You don't have to be a role model, Charles. You can be motivational, though. You can give a little back. He said the kid next to him with the xylophone was pointing at a little board. He said, follow that. And I'm like, okay. He said many of the kids seized the opportunity to tell me they too play basketball on the playground at recess. They marveled at how tall he was, and one stopped their game to ask him for a hug. At lunch, he answered riddles, and then he taught his favorite class, math. Well, I guess in second grade, math is pretty easy, so I can see why that might be his favorite. He said perhaps that's where his inclination for teaching others began. He said, math came easy to me. I feel like it was probably I felt like I was one of the smartest kids in our class, adding that when he was a kid, he'd help other students. I'll try to teach them, like, oh, this is how I learned it, and it's pretty simple to me this way. Just think of this, he said. The kids couldn't get enough of their temporary teacher, Mr. Bridges, and while meeting an NBA star is a kid's dream, meeting these students fulfilled a dream for him. A lot of days we're in school, he said, and we're with our teachers, and I think they just don't get enough credit because we're around them a lot. And I don't know what he's trying to say with this, but yes, they do deserve more credit. Forget credit. How about paying them? Pay those teachers. Shit. I know there's some shit teachers out there, but there's some good teachers out there too, and they deserve it. I got friends in education, and they bust their ass, and they get very little in return for it. But Bridges even said that he hopes to become either a teacher or possibly even a principal after the NBA. So keep an eye on Michael Bridges giving back to the community by helping these kids along in whatever way he can. And that, my friends, is something to get a little excited about. Very wholesome. Yes, very wholesome. I see the chat room. Anyway, all right. Well, that's the show. I hope you like it. If you do, tell your friends. If your friends like it, you need new ones. But they and you are welcome right here with me on Wednesday evenings on KLRN Radio, America's podcast network. I'm your host, Grouch. Peace.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.